This podcast is rated ES for extremely silly and may contain bad words, bad jokes, and other bad content that is not suitable for children. Or maybe it is. We don't know. We're not their parents. You're listening to the Starforge podcast with Scya and Mal, two nerds who have a lot to say about Star Wars: The Old Republic and all its features. Rest assured, the podcast is working as intended. This is episode 12. I'm tired of this game and everyone in it. All right. Scya, today is December 13th, 2021. What's happening tomorrow?
Excuse me, this is an evergreen podcast. Take this date and get the hell out of here. Luckily, even though Mal is going to be talking about a very dated topic, we've got a very interesting topic to talk about today that really never gets old. Unlike the game. What was supposed to happen tomorrow after we record this podcast is that the expansion was supposed to launch. Instead, it got delayed 2 months, and so did most of our plans. Boo!
Boo, but also probably for the best, because it sounds like what they were going to roll out was an absolute fucking disaster.
I am more than okay with it being delayed.
You don't want to play Hurricane, The Old Republic? Natural Disaster, The Old Republic?
Excuse me? It's called The Tortanic. Weren't you around during launch? Do you remember that?
I was around during launch. I was kind of in my own little world then, playing it.
More fun that way. But it doesn't last as long if you play that way. And we are going to talk about something today, and what's that going to be, Mal?
The usual, how to disappoint other people while you're bored. Flying solo while you're bored. You gotta be careful. Don't fall asleep while you're flying solo. You could crash. Disappointing other people. All right. So, Scya, here we are. It's December 13th. There's no Xpac coming tomorrow. I feel like everything has been building up to this moment where, we're gonna have things to do again. And now we don't. And Scya, I'm bored.
I'm so sorry to hear that, Mal. You're doing things horribly wrong if you're bored in this game.
Or maybe I did them amazingly correctly for so long, and that's why I'm bored, because there's not anything much left to do. Did you ever think of that, Scya?
I think
Did you?
No, I have never thought of that, Mal. That never possibly crossed my mind in the 1,000 things I could have thought of. Well, actually, a lot of the things that we were thinking of were things that were coming up with the expansion. I think this is a feeling a lot of players are feeling, especially right now, because all our kind of hopes and dreams and ideas of what we're going to be doing in the next few months focused around this concept that we'd have something entirely new to explore, feast our eyes upon, new story, new flashpoints, new operations, a new gearing system, a new character creator, all that kind of stuff, a little something for everyone. And now we have to go back and re-examine all the stuff we've been doing over the last year and figure out, is there anything I haven't done this year? Is there anything I wanted to do? And Mal has come to the conclusion that the answer is no.
I think I'll just drink for 2 months.
That's healthy. Absolutely. I know.
Sure, why not? Doctors everywhere say if you are bored with your video games, you may try drinking. I can't even because I don't want to get sued anyway.
It's pretty funny. Players bring this up a lot. I'm feeling bored with Star Wars: The Old Republic's Swtorista. Do you get bored of the game? How do you not get bored after 10 years? And I don't understand why the correct answer isn't, it's totally okay to go play something else if you're bored. Go check out one of the other wonderful MMORPGs out there. If you want a similar game, something with the same flavor, there's Final Fantasy XIV is just booming right now. There's, of course, Elder Scrolls Online, my personal favorite, Guild Wars 2. You can go check out the new Amazon MMO, New World. You can, of course, go back to the old classic of World of Warcraft if you want to. Go even further back and you can check out like Lord of the Rings Online is still getting updates, and so is RuneScape and RuneScape Classic. Not to mention, there's a million other hobbies out there you can go check out. There is no reason you must be playing a video game, especially if you're not enjoying it. What are you doing, people? Mal, what are you going to do in these next 2 months that isn't Star Wars: The Old Republic if you're bored?
Drinking? No. Baking, drinking, and baking. I'm not really sure. I could spend more time. You know, my best friend, he lives right up the street. We can definitely spend some more time together. We actually have a great game. It was a Kickstarter game. It's called Hero Quest. I believe it's actually based off an old board game from like the 80s, but they've kickstarted.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah, they've kickstarted a new version. So we've kind of been going through this Hero Quest campaign on Saturday nights. And so I guess, you know, if there's not too much to do in Swator, maybe we could up that to 2 nights a week. For me, it's really fun because my friend Norin and my husband, Fender, they play. They each have 2 characters. And I am actually the dungeon master.
Oh, my.
I am Zargon. And they will do as I please when they step foot into my dungeon.
You're who? Excuse me?
Zargon.
Is that with a Z or an X, ma'am?
It's with a Z.
Oh, okay, that's appropriate. So, what are you going to do when the actual expansion hits, though?
Oh, well, I have a buttload of characters to level, but I can't really do that now.
Are you going to jump right on and be playing for, like, quite a while straight when it comes? Like, are you very much interested again once the expansion hits?
Yeah, and I'll have to. Because I got 2 raid groups that expect me to come do things with them.
Hey, one of them is mine.
I know. The patch drops on Tuesday. I expect you ready to go on Thursday.
Yeah, it's exactly what I said. It wasn't like, I have no idea how the new gearing system works. We'll figure it out when we get there.
Whip it good.
And this is something that a lot of players actually go through. There's a term, and the term is called content locusts, like the bug. They swarm between different games as new content and new expansion comes out, and they just hop between games. Sometimes this is a derogatory term, but honestly, it just makes a lot of sense. If you're the type of player who always wants something new to check out, and especially if you're someone like Mal who really consumes the content, like I'm joking that she's bored and she shouldn't be bored, but she's one of the few players I actually know who does actually do her best to check out a huge amount of the content available in the game. Mal, is there anything that you haven't really done? I'm assuming it's because you don't really want to, if there is anything left.
I mean, I don't really do PvP. Scya just put on these sick fucking sunglasses, making me jealous. Fly girl.
I'm just, I need it better to look at you because you're so cool because you've done everything in the game.
Oh my God. I am humbled. I would like to take this opportunity to thank my family, my guild, my friends for providing me with these opportunities to complete this content in the game, and especially to you, Scya, for honoring me with your adornment of sunglasses. Thank you.
I actually changed my mind. Unless you check out PvP, you're missing a huge piece of content in the game. Never mind all that.
No, it's just not my favorite thing. It's just not my favorite. Not a top tier. It's not my favorite thing. I'm just not very good at it. I feel like it takes like a very hyper focus to be good at it.
Yeah,
and I
sure,
don't feel like sinking the time. I mean, I'm fine. Like if I go in PvP, I'm not going to be such a sandbag because I do know how to operate my class, but it's not. Lobies is that's fine because people take that less seriously until they don't. And then that is the funniest thing I've ever seen. People lose their crackers in Lobby PvP.
It's pretty funny, right? And you're like, half our team just logged in for the first time to this game like 2 weeks ago. It's going to be okay. There's no rewards. A lot of people, like I said, do ask me, why don't you get bored of the game? And like I say, my first answer is usually like, if you're not enjoying the game, go take a break. But the reason I don't get bored is because there is so many facets of the game, and I barely and rarely stick with one for very long. I think the longest I've stuck with something is like 2 months in a row, and then I'll go check out another facet. So for example, I know Mal does a lot of operations, a lot of flashpoints, and a lot of achievement hunting in general. Those are all things I do too, but once I'm starting to get sick of those flashpoints or those achievement huntings, I'm going to go hop in PvP. I'm going to go check out Galactic Starfighter. I'm going to go do roleplay. I'm going to go do whatever else in the game. There is so much, and to me, one of my things I try to do really as much as I can is to avoid grinding, because that is the number one thing that makes me feel bored and sick of the game. Mal, have you ever gotten to a point in the game, like apart from right now when we're just kind of low on content for you to experience, that you've felt bored?
Yeah, it usually happens before Xpac when we're just really tired of all the operations that we have.
Doing the same thing over and over, right? You reach the end of that rope.
Yeah, normally that's normally that's what does it for me.
I feel like I've heard that sentiment as well. We talked a little bit about another player who was doing the pacifist challenge a while ago. Her name is Shintar. She runs the Going Commando blog. She recently wrote a post about how she gets the pre-expansion blues. Much like you do, she kind of has that lull in interest before the expansion comes out. So I think that's something a lot of players experience, and we're going to see a lot, especially with that 2-month delay coming up here.
Yeah, I'll tell you what though. The next note you have here says that playing social can be a huge game changer.
Yeah,
So
and I was so
will
excited
tell you-
because you have something very similar. Yeah, tell me
Yeah.
about what do you do, Mal?
Well, I'm hurting right now because Vaz is gone for the holidays. So I feel like I don't even want to play the game without him. Vaz, if you listen, I miss you. Come home, Vaz.
Get online, buddy.
Please come home for the holidays. If not for Life Day, by New Year's night. Anyway.
I remember reading a while ago, a World of Warcraft former developer said the number one reason that players left the game was because their friends stopped playing. This is Mal right now. And for me, a huge part of playing and enjoying this game over the course of 10 years. Like, I have been playing this whole time. I think I took a very minor break somewhere along the way, but not a big one, is playing socially. And socially may not be exactly what you expect it to be. For me, it doesn't just mean playing operations, playing flashpoints, playing PvP, and playing flashpoints. Those are the 4 things that the game actually gives you to do together with other people. And although those definitely count, there's more to it. There's joining a guild, like not just a random invite guild, like a guild that you interact with and like. Joining both random flashpoints and operations versus joining ones that are coordinated, because they have 2 completely different flavors. My 16-man story mode operations that I lead in the mornings and I call Team Chaos have a completely different flavor and are not nearly the same as the organized nightmare mode runs that I do in the evenings. I like to do roleplay, which is something not even technically supported by the game, but it consumed a huge part of my life when I first started playing the game, and there was less content in the game to do. You can also, if you aren't interested in a guild, you can join Discord communities or streaming communities and meet other people that way. And just creating content. Whatever it is you want to be making is so social for me. Like, Mal, we're being social right now. That counts, right?
I am a creator. I am creating content.
So we're hanging out with each other because we're co-creating. But even if you're creating stuff by yourself, this could be writing fan fiction for other people. This could be creating art for other people. This could be writing blogs for other people. This could be making posts or little guides for your guilds and friends, videos, streaming. Podcasts, shockingly, are in the list, but you're interacting with other people in a way that you don't normally get if you're just playing the game, and that absolutely extends the life of the game if it's something you want to check out.
Yeah, so I was going to say there were a couple groups. There was one particularly I'd run with a couple times. They're still trying to accomplish killing hard mode Revan, and they kind of laid off it for a little bit. They were going to wait for the Xpac and say, well, we'll come back to that later. But now they're thinking, maybe, we'll try to do it again. And I don't know, I might just sign up for their ops night. I don't need the achievement, but I could help. I think I could help them.
That social play, right?
Yes.
You've got a bit of an addiction to something. What is that, Mal?
Helping people. It's terrible. It's horrible. It's hard. It's hard for me because I know we did a whole episode about how to act in a group, and don't be an asshole. Like, don't be that pug in the group. Don't be the condescending pug, Mal, that shows up in the group to like a hard mode Dread Fortress and you see what's happening and you're like, okay, you're sitting there. Oh, okay, that's what we're doing. Okay. And inside I'm screaming, fuck, oh my God, we're not going to win this way. And I'd be very polite. And then eventually, hey, maybe I could help you with a strategy.
Do you go something like this? This is how we do it.
Put your hand in my hand. It's time to clear Dread Palace Oh dear.
No, I'm scared. You said Dread Fortress earlier, and I was like, thank God she didn't say Dread Palace, because that's what we're working on together.
Whatever. They're right next to each other, so, you know. No, but at a certain point, I'm like, seriously, take my hand if you want to live. Like, I will help you. I'll help you live. Especially for people who get really, like, they are trying to clear hard mode.
Easy peasy. Yeah.
I can be very helpful. So now I'm looking to help, I guess.
It's almost like that act of helping is almost like creating a new type of content for yourself, because it's way different than just playing. Like we've mentioned kind of before about playing efficiently versus playing whatever class you want to play. We've both mentioned we like sometimes going into operations where you just go pew, pew, pew the boss and like mow your way through. But that's totally different than actively watching your group members, seeing what they're doing and seeing what your group is doing and trying to give them advice on how to do better. And that doesn't go with just nightmare mode operations, right? I've seen you said you help people with things like flashpoint achievements too, right?
Oh, definitely. Definitely if people need help, you know, if they're struggling in a flashpoint, a harder flashpoint, or even story mode, even hard mode ops. I like to help.
Right. Yeah.
Because people get so excited. It's kind of fun to see people's excitement. It's like I'm helping them give themselves a gift, the present of achieving something in the game.
And we know not everyone watching is going to be nightmare mode operations raid leader ready like Mal is, but that can go for even easier content. You'll sometimes see people hanging out on Korban or Tython saying, hey, does anyone need help? And just go help that random lobby with their quests that they're stuck on, you know, or actually actively watching general chat, you know, ignoring all the bad stuff, but seeing when people needs a reply to a question, like a basic question about the game, and being there to reply or being there to help out with that random quest or helping with heroics or those solo flashpoints that poor person just can't get through. It does really add a lot to the game to have that social helping content available too.
No, I agree. And I think it's sometimes nice in a group to have someone there who knows what they're doing, because you can read a guide 100 times and you can watch a video 55 times. But if you're not used to ops and you're not used to the content, it's like you might as well be reading the Latin alphabet backwards and your eyes fell out. So it's nice to have somebody in the group with you who can just say, you know, stand here, look for this, interrupt over here for this. Oh, you have to put your back to that and then you won't fly off. That fixes that problem. It's nice.
We've talked a lot about increasing your enjoyment of the game through the social activities, the ones offered by the game as well as the ones we kind of make up along the way, like helping people or creating content. Is there anything else you'd like to say to someone who does do group content who's just feeling bored?
Drink. And bake. This weekend, you can't make this Sith up. The studio sits empty, barren, devoid of any and all life forms. A tumbleweed blows down the center of the soundstage, dust flying into the dead air. Microphones hang from their boom arms sadly, longing for the days when people used to speak words into them, some of which were hilarious. The 7.0 expansion that everyone had been preparing for so many long months was not coming. Malaise, sadness, despair, melancholy. What is life anymore? Headsets discarded by disgruntled and dejected audio engineers and newscasters litter the floor. A single crumpled yellow square of paper flutters to the floor. This, it says. Quoth the post-it, nevermore. And they made me take the beginner improv class.
You're totally amateur now.
Taking a beginner improv class It was the most hilarious thing because, like a lot of beginning acting classes, it's supposed to be like very cathartic and opening yourself up. But like, I did that shit already, okay? I got a degree in it. Like, I already is like working in the world.
I'm an open book already.
Doing acting, but they told me I had to start at the beginning. And I was working a lot at the time for an educational company. So I would go there and then I could come home and, I would have to read like hours of text, and we would get to the improv class and they would get to parts and they'd be like, now scream as loud as you can, and everybody would be so loud I would just go, and no one would know that I was not screaming. I'm not fucking screaming in this class, wreck my voice for the rest of the day.
Voice acting tips from Mal 101. It's like when you're in choir when you're a little kid and you can't sing. Beautiful blended right in, perfect pitch.
Scya,
Go.
I'm all alone inside my home. Vaz is gone, and I'm bored. What the fuck do I do now?
You play alone, explore everything in the galaxy. There's achievements, there's space missions, eternal championship waits for you. So we talked a lot about what you can do if you're not necessarily enjoying the game as much as you used to, but you still want to play if you play with other people. But what happens if you're
flying solo? Well, you don't drink. Number one, no drinking and flying solo.
You're only allowed to drink if you're playing group content?
Yeah, because then someone else can drive.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
When you're in a group, you can have a designated driver.
Safe.
So anyway, what are we going to do?
What do you actually?
You rattled off a lot of stuff.
Yeah, so I actually play alone quite a bit. As much as I do group content, I'm a big fan of solo content as well. I like to chill out, check things out, and play by myself. There's a few fun things that you can do that are high voltage if you're a solo player, like Eternal Championship, but most of it is pretty chill. And basically, when I want to play solo, what I do is I pick a goal and just go searching for it. So in Mal's case, a lot of her solo goals, I bet, are probably achievement related, huh?
Yes. Actually, I have turned to that in recent days. You actually inspired one of them. I have gone back to kind of clean up my space missions that were missing. I actually tricked out my whole ship, and I'm going back to grab those old original space mission achievements. So thank you for those guides. They have been very helpful. Oh, and I wanted...
You're welcome. It's a surprising amount of fun.
Yeah, I wanted to tell you those ones where it's like you got to shoot the proton torpedo at the thing and you only get one try per day. If you whiff, but you can just quickly cancel the whole mission.
Escape pod.
Yeah, escape. Go back, try again. Try it again.
Yeah, so it's stuff like that I have checked out in the past, maybe given a cursory glance, and that I really want to flesh out. In this case, the achievement system is a really good way to look into that. So for space missions, the solo ones you pick up on your ship, not the group ones, space missions are really fun to go check out. I just spent like a month or so learning about how to get the gear for my ship, how to actually go do all those strange achievements that you shouldn't whiff, that you wouldn't maybe figure out on your own, how to fill those all out, and how to especially do the heroic missions, because I never even completed those back in the day. They were too hard for me. How'd you do with those? Did you manage to get them all?
Yeah, I'm almost done. I think I have 2 more to do on the pub side. Imp side might be a minute because I'm out of those
combinations.
Space doohickey wingding. I'm out of space tickets to buy space parts for my spaceship. Whatever the fuck they're called.
Space tickets. That's what the next currency in the expansion is going to be called. Space tickets. Oh, God.
Get your tickets here. Get your tickets. Step right up.
I won't be able to get my emergency power set because I need space tickets.
It's going on your implants. So
oh, my.
It was at the plastic surgery clinic for you.
There's going to be so many jokes about that coming up. Legendary implants. Ooh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But there is other types of achievements you can check out. For example, the Eternal Championship is really fun, has achievements tied to it. You can do the limited time event achievements. So some of those are group related, but some of them are solo. Like there's the Gree event, the Rackle event, I think the Dantooine has a bunch of solo achievements that you can do that only are available during certain times, so there's a little more incentive to go check them out. Apart from that, there is some stuff you can check out that isn't necessarily listed in the achievement list. Have you ever done anything in-game, Mal, that wasn't like measured or tracked in any way? Like you didn't get rewards from it?
I don't know.
Mal's like, I don't even know what that would look like. And this is
I go with you every Thursday and I don't get shit. Does that... Just kidding. I have a great time, actually.
Oh my God, that hurt my heart. That was so harsh and so true.
I'm joking. I'm joking. You know what I get from your Thursday group? I get love and friendship. I have a great time, and I have a great time in that group.
A sense of pride and accomplishment. I'm sure that's what you get out of it.
No, actually, last time people got achievements.
Yeah, that was awesome. I was so excited.
A couple people got achievements. So, I mean, I like that. That feels good.
That's not quite what I meant. Because operations do have a guaranteed reward when you complete each boss. It's not the game's fault that we're not good enough to actually complete those bosses. That's maybe a bit of a me problem there. But I'm talking about the type of things you can do in pretty much any game, especially story-focused games that don't have any metrics associated to them. And players who play solo are more apt to go check these out, and they usually involve some type of creativity. So creating short stories about your character, imagining how your character might be in the character creator or while you're actually playing the story, creating little lore entries, character sheets, video montages, arts, folders of screenshots, stuff like that can be something really fun to go check out if you're looking for something that isn't going to be grindy in any way. Because, there's no measure on creativity. There's no metric that you actually have to fill out to say you're done.
Uh-huh.
Have you ever done any of that before, Mal?
I mean, I'm here with you. That's enough.
Yeah, we're creating content. That counts.
We are. No, I've never done any of that because honestly, I mean, I play the game, but I have other hobbies, I guess, outside of the game. And that's usually where I turn at that point.
Ew. You have a life?
Yeah, sometimes. I try anyway.
The hell is wrong with you?
I don't know. There's so much wrong with me. Where do I start? How long do we have? This is only a 45-minute podcast. I think we're going to have to do 5 episodes.
Is there anything else you wanted to show off that players could go check out if they're playing solo?
Oh, yes. Yeah, because Vaz is gone, so now I'm working on things he doesn't like to do, like planetary kills.
Oh, yeah, I'm dibs out on that one. You are all on your own, buddy.
No, well, what I do first is I scout a good path. And then what I've done is I've actually stockpiled all those boosts you get from Conquest.
Oh.
The ones that double the kills, right? So once you get a good path going, in 30 minutes, you can get quite a few done.
How does that not hurt your soul to do that?
I just put on some music. And I just...
Could you give us a refrain to the type of music you're listening to?
I just got that Spotify Wrapped thing, and my number 1 artist was Queens of the Stone Age, and I was in the top 1% of their listener pool on Spotify.
Thank you for providing the soundtrack for killing 5,000 Jawas on Tatooine for an achievement.
I kill in the black hole. 5,000 more to go. No one knows. Dun, dun, dun. Anyway.
I know.
Boy, this is the we're gonna get sued episode.
No, that's not how it works.
And I'm not cutting it.
It's for educational purposes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, I did all the kills on the black hole. I did all the kills on Section X. And now I'm working on the kills on Quesh to kill strong things. Strong Imperial things, and then I'll have to go kill strong Republic things. And that's what I'm working on now.
I absolutely cannot do that. That is way too far into the grind and my soul falls out my ears zone. But I do know something that's on the opposite spectrum of that is playing the story. And it's probably the biggest thing that solo players like to do. But the problem happens once you've played through all the story and you've reached the end. In this case, it's the storyline leading up to the expansion, is the last storyline to play. What do you do? Mal, have you actually played all the stories in the game?
Yes, I've played them on the pub side, and then I play them all on the imp side. One character on each side.
Nice. Have you done all 8 class stories too? You're legendary, right?
Yes.
Sweet. So that's a really big goal. That's the first big goal that players who have kind of gotten to the end of their storyline and they're not really sure, well, the rest of the content bores me. Where can I get more story? Is you go after Legendary Player, which is a special achievement you get for playing all 8 class storylines. Each one is different. As Mal mentioned, a second thing you can go check out is to, obviously, you'd first play through all the expansions on one character, but then hop over to a character on the other faction and play through them all again. Some expansions only have minor differences, while others have some major differences, an entirely new set of story. This can also count for all the planetary storylines. There's an entirely different set for both the bonus series and the main series, the Purple Quest, that isn't your class quest, that are different for Republic and Imperial side. But Mal, have you ever gone and replayed a story, and why?
Sorry, I need a minute to think. If I have. Yes, I have. The first Sith warrior that I played, she is dark side. She is my crazy blood mage from other games. I mentioned that in a previous episode. Her name is Mariah, and she is a killer. But as I was playing, I thought, this may be really interesting to play as a light side warrior. So I went back and I created a light side warrior to play through on the story, and it was really interesting.
Right, the Sith Warrior is actually probably one of the best to replay with the concept of playing one Sith Warrior Dark and one Sith Warrior Light. In another vein of the same thought, the Imperial Agent is one of those stories where there is some key pivotal decisions that you can make in terms of who to ally with. I won't give you any spoilers, but it is well worth seeing those differences a second time around on a separate character. I've actually played quite a few characters multiple times to want to check out these special little cutscenes. There's some that are very different, and I want to see them myself. I've also done a lot of story replays just to see certain cutscenes again, to kind of do some research about a topic I'm interested in. For example, a little while ago, I was very interested in the Star Forge and what happened to it. We talked about the topic of our podcast. It's not something Mal is super familiar with, and that's okay. But, Rakata technology, Revan, HK51, blah, 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 all that stuff. I went and looked for all the quests I could find related to that and replayed them and tried to make those connections. Later this week, I'm going to go replay the Orcon storyline because I couldn't really remember exactly how the Dreadmasters worked. And I also want to go capture some screenshots and footage of the Orcon storyline for another little personal project I'm working on. It's a Life Day Carol. That's very important.
Aww, that is important. Stop it. Parody songs are very important here.
But although I'm making that for other people, there may be all kinds of personal projects that you want to go check out. Maybe you want to learn more about the Chiss and go check out those quests on Hoth that are related to the Chiss. Maybe you want to learn more about the Rakata. Maybe you want to learn more about the Sith and the pureblood aspect of things versus being an alien in the Sith Empire. Whatever it is you want to do, there's going to be multiple quests spread out across the course of multiple expansions that will suit your unique interests at the time.
That's awesome. You always have such great advice for people. And I do too, but you package it so well for people.
That's what I do.
I know you do. And you package it so well that I want you to tell me what is the news now. There's my cat.
Meow, 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 meow. Meow, meow, meow.
I left the door open by accident. Yeah.
Hi, kitty.
Yep. Left the door open. That's nice. Hi, kitty. Scya, tell me the news. You heard it here last.
We're going to have a dearth of news for a little while when it comes to actual updates to the game, but we do have a huge amount of events coming up to fill the space in the void of the expansion. So here is the list of events that are coming up. As you're listening to this, if you're listening to it when it was released, the Dantooine Pirate event is running from December 14th to 20th. Also, starting on the same day, but running all the way until January 11th will be the Life Day event, which is really fun. You can go check it out and throw snowballs at people. Even free-to-play players can go check this one out easily. Also on December 14th, and lasting for an entire year, the Anniversary Vendor. It's technically called the Anniversary Event, but this term has been confusing people this year. So it's an event where a vendor is available to give you a whole bunch of free stuff. Will be taking place on the fleet. I believe it's in the supplies section, and look for the Anniversary Vendor. If you check out on December 14th, the day it launches, there will be 1 million people crowded around it. There won't be any new rewards right away. The new rewards will be coming with the expansion. Something else that's coming up is Double XP, which will be running December 20th to January 4th for about 2 weeks. Bounty Contract Week will start on December 28th and last week. And the Feast of Prosperity will start on January 11th, lasting 3 weeks. And lastly, the expansion will finally launch on February 15th, 2022.
Will it? Will it?
I hope so.
You know, I busted my ass in November to do that Feast of Prosperity stuff because you're like, it only comes but once a year.
My video did say that. BioWare lied to me. I'm sorry.
Better hurry. Okay.
What I'm not hurrying about, I'm not hurrying on those Renown achievements anymore.
Staying up to 1:30 in the morning to kill RG 400,000 on Narshada.
I thought you said that DPS was meant to be unnamed. Was it actually you all along?
I cannot reveal my anonymous sources on the matter.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us for this episode of the Starforge podcast. I'd really like to hear if there's any other types of group content or solo content that you suggest to other players to go check out when they are feeling bored of the game. Or is there any other games or activities that you recommend to go check out instead?
Yep. Let us know, because we're bored. And I only got 2 hobbies that I told you about, so... We'll see you guys, actually, we won't see you guys till the new year, because we're taking a break.
We got something else coming up for you. And don't forget, if you're listening on YouTube, when we release our little bonus special episodes, they show up on starforgepodcast.com instead of the YouTube. So you'll have something special coming up for the holidays.
Happy holidays. Bye.
Bye. You've been listening to the Starforge podcast with Scya and Mal. We know you have your choice of podcasts, and you chose the right one. For show notes and other information, visit starforgepodcast.com and hit us up on Twitter at StarforgeCast. We'd love to hear from you. Listen in with Google or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or on Swtorista's YouTube channel. New episodes drop every Friday, so mark your calendar and come join the party. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
I don't know. There you go. There's...
Beautiful. Was that our shit
Yeah.
you can't make up?
Yep.
Or is that just a segue?
I don't know. That was the shit you can't make up. Even though
Okay,
I
perfect.
did just make it up.
Ah!
And they made
Sorry.
me take the beginner improv class.